got a friend. You got a friend, yeah. Ain't it good to know you got a friend? You got a friend.
Here we are in the midst of a global pandemic, one which has affected every area of our lives and further illuminated long-standing social and health-related inequities in our community. The burden boat behind me normally lives in the lobby of Roanoke Memorial Hospital. Throughout the year, many community members have placed their handwritten burdens within the vessel. Many have also submitted their burdens online, which we have printed, and those are here with us today to be released. There is power in acknowledging our burdens. Today we acknowledge and we release. In a few minutes, we will light these burdens on fire. As they burn, the twine that holds the burden bags on either side of the vessel will break. The bags will fall to the ground, releasing the energy of the burdens. And as we release, we open space within us and between us for what does not yet exist. This is a space of great possibility, of hope. No one said that having hope would be easy, especially now, yet it is so necessary. Because before any healing can be a reality, it must first be a possibility. Today, we open this space of possibility and hope, and we do this together. Thank you for being here today. Whether you are with us physically or watching from a distance at a different time, you have arrived and you matter. Your healing matters. Thank you for contributing burdens and for witnessing this release. We acknowledge the burdens you have been carrying, and we celebrate with you the hope that will help us all enact the healing we wish to realize within ourselves and throughout our community. And now I'm happy to turn things over to Katie Zawacki from Roanoke Valley Points of Diversity.
Thank you, Katie. Over a year ago, Dr. Katie Fiddle and I began a conversation about healing for the whole community and not just the individual. Our mission at Points of Diversity is to promote inclusion of all residents of Roanoke in all aspects of community life. We have been focusing on addressing discrimination and past racism, and setting forth a process to move toward an anti-racist future. Along with others, we have been telling the story of both local and federal policies that removed what they called blighted communities, beginning in 1955 and for another 27 years, to build new infrastructure like Interstate 581 and the Roanoke Civic Center. All in all, the black middle class who lived in the neighborhood of Gainesboro lost their homes. They lost 1,600 homes, 24 churches, 200 small businesses, schools, doctors' offices, and their neighbors, who was their connection to support each other. These were all burned down or bulldozed by what was called urban renewal. More and more, these stories are being told, which is the first step toward healing. We have, along with generous donations, we have purchased a Roanoke City commemorative tree, and we have placed it in the Gainesboro neighborhood across from the library on Gainesboro Road. And it is a tree where people can go by, and I urge every one of you to go by. There's fabric and pens where you can write down your prayers and hopes for the future, especially in removing racism and discrimination. Our hope is that the speaking of the truth and the legacy left by racism and discrimination will, like this ceremony, make room for the reconciliation between the city and the neighborhoods and the neighbors of Gainesboro. Points of Diversity provides facilitated small group dialogues on facing racism, and you can contact us at Roanoke Valley Points of Diversity at Gmail to sign up or learn more. We know when we believe that talking and listening is hope for healing, and hope never disappoints.
And so as things are changing ever so differently, we're finding hope not by doing what we've always done, but by doing what we can and sharing what we can and giving as we can, and at other times receiving as we can. And so today we gather to be inspired and to release and to be present with one another, knowing that we are not alone in the burdens that we carry. As we release them, we create space for light and for love and for new beginnings. And I want to introduce one of her bride. Come on. I threw my script out, so I'll introduce Brian Harvest Black Hancock. Thank you for being with us today and sharing your poetry.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna take this down because my glasses are gonna fog up. How's everybody?
Good.
We can do better than that.
Yay.
This cold weather is letting us know that we're alive right now. Are you feeling good?
Yes. Yes.
I'm here to help that as well. I want to thank Carillion Healing Arts for having me. It's honestly good to be asked to be anywhere nowadays. For me, this has been a season of trying to figure out better how to be my own breakthrough. And sometimes I kind of get in my grandfather's headspace when he talks to me. He says, hope is not a plan. Be what you want and continue to adapt. And I want to talk about that a little bit today, if I can, with this poem. I'm sensitive about my work. I'm kidding. It is what it is. I hope that you enjoy it. If not, that's cool too. But this is called The Train. And my fingers are kind of jittery because it's cold. But again, the cold lets you know that you're alive. The train. Hear the train late in the evening. The shrieking of the wheels untamed, deep screaming. I feel it even as I stand at the edge, clinging to the warmth of the being fleeing. The inner child lost standing on the bridge, eyes still lit deep in the mist of misery. Look at me. Looking at me. How did it find us? How did it know where we lived? The more darkness I've consumed, the more it's let in, suffocating and smothered by greed and the power lust of evil men, which taint the dreams that could be lucid. Should I flow with the cleanse instead of new trends? Pictured our heart covered with bruises, but does the heart really break if it still beats? See, I've been called useless, foolish to a small sum that choose to forget sometimes choosing. So, new life, who this? Freedom breathes fresh beyond the stress. I found more treasures in what some would call less. So here it is. Do I build a prison or a palace with this mess? The muck and the mire I've molded to acquire the fire. Yes, you are, you exist. You breathe, you feel, you hear. You're here. Your inheritance is the gems inside of your soul. You are a gift. Even when unconscious to those you clutch and spoon feed life into a day, a moment, a smile, a sincere word. You are the train steady around the bend, carrying precious cargo, the light in the front, the cold embers, the glow, the power, the engine, the heartbeat to keep moving as the wheels keep turning and rolling. Shrieking, you steer. The wheels keep turning until you get there. And when you get there, you find out that you weren't alone. As I stand at the edge of this bridge, I found out it's never too late to turn around and go home. Hold on to your inner child. Give away what you've outgrown. There isn't a life that's quite like your own. See, you are loved so much more than you'll ever know. Thank you.
Gates of mercy, arbitrary space. None of us deserving the cruelty of the grace.
Thank you all for coming this day, for being here in person with us, for joining us by live stream or by video recording later. Thank you for taking the time to make space for releasing the burdens that we may know joy and we may know hope in the midst of our suffering. Rabbi Abraham Heschel says, just to be is a blessing, and just to live is holy. May each of us live this day knowing that it is a blessing to be alive and knowing that it is holy just to live. Live with hope, for life continues on, even in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of disease, in the midst of loss. Life continues. And so today, pause to remember life is a blessing. Go forth in hope.